a card that Turki Alashikh is putting on. And I'm looking forward to seeing you back in action and seeing this matchup. How have you been? I know before we clicked on the video, you said you just finished up training, getting ready for the fight.
Yeah, I just finished up training, doing my first workout of the day. I feel good. I'm out here in Boulder. Just tapering down camp now. It was a long camp, hard camp. Been working hard, man. I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? July 12th is gonna be a big night for me.
Yes, sir. It's going to be a big night, I think, for boxing. 10 months ago, you had the biggest opportunity of your career. You got an opportunity to challenge the unified champ, the superstar Canelo Alvarez, big fight in Las Vegas. He knocked you down in the third round. He won a pretty wide decision, but, as we've discussed before, it was a good fight for the fans. And you did a heck of a lot better than a lot of people thought you were going to do in that fight. A lot of guys and gals didn't think you're getting out of the first couple of rounds, but you gave them a solid go for all 12. And I wonder, what did you take from that experience, from the fight? What did you learn about yourself and, frankly, your position within the 168-pound weight class?
It was a great experience. Just learning, what I'm saying. I felt like, that when Canelo fought Floyd, he learned a lot. I feel like it was the same thing. I learned so much from that fight. Just being in there, with a guy at that level, you know what I'm saying? I gained a lot of experience, a lot of IQ. And now, what I'm saying? Now I just feel like nobody can stop me now. I know that nobody can fuck with me. I think right now, I'm at, come on, man. Tell Chris stop calling me.
Little
Hello?
technical difficulty. I'm here. Continue as you were saying.
Just being in the ring with him, it was a great experience. You know what I'm saying? Just getting all that feel to how it feels to fight in front of 20,000 people and then 20,000 Mexicans at that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. There was a few Puerto Ricans there also for you. You know that.
It was for every one Puerto Rican, it was probably like 100 Mexicans in that ring. So being in another guy's basically home turf, I took everything well. You know what I'm saying? I was built for this, man. Like I'm a superstar. And
Like, you didn't let the loss break you, right? I think, did you tell me if I'm wrong about this? Like, you got the loss, fine. Guys lose fights, like Canelo, you mentioned, lost to Floyd, but I feel like you gained, like, you're like, yeah, I can really compete. I can be in this thing. I'm going to be more confident the next time. I know I can be involved in these big events.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, man. I just needed that experience. You know what I'm saying? Now that I got it, that's all I needed. I'm ready to go. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to take over the 168 division. I know I can beat that, man. I got the skill, I got everything. The only thing I lacked that fight was experience. You know what I'm saying? And obviously he fought how many greats he fought, you know what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
I just stepped from a low level to the elite level super fast, and I handled it pretty well, you know what I'm saying? I think that, now is off to the races, you know what I'm saying? July 12th is gonna be another day, another day in the office, to destroy this dude Shiraz, man. I'm going to. I know after this fight, you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna be with Turkey after this fight, So let's see, you know what I'm saying. Let's see.
So your last fight, you came back after the Canelo fight, and you came back this past March, and you scored a very easy first round knockout against Johnathan Gonzalez, who really had nothing for you. He was had a great record, but he hadn't fought for a while, or he'd been not had big wins or anything like that. You dusted him like a lot of folks expected. First of all, you had that big long streak of first round knockouts to start your career. Did it feel good to get back to getting a first round KO?
Yeah, felt good. I got 17 first round knockouts now.
Well, what does a fight like
People
that
don't
do for you?
embrace that. People don't want to embrace that. I'm the only guy at the middleweight. I'm the only guy right now current in boxing that has 17 first round knockouts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
that's
got
a lot.
18 knockouts. 17 of them are the first round. So people
Did
don't
that do
embrace that.
anything for you,
They
that
never
fight, though,
gonna
coming
go.
back in such an easy kind of win? What'd that do for you?
It wasn't easy. None is
Well,
easy. If it
you made it
was
look
easy,
easy.
everybody would be doing that shit. Yeah, but I bet you, I put my life, put my bank on. Nobody was stopping that man in the first round like that. Nobody. I promise you, nobody. Nobody.
That was your last fight with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom, and there was a lot of discussion beforehand about the way that all came out. You wound up on an undercard because of your contract situation. You didn't do an
Yeah.
extension, et cetera. Were you all disappointed kind of with the way that ended? You go from the the huge spotlight of a main event against Canelo
We
to
was
a
already set.
co-feature.
We already was set to fight. What was it, March 8th in Choliseo in Puerto Rico, 16,000 people, and I was supposed to be main event. And I had a lot of fighters in Puerto Rico, young fighters that was going to be on that card getting ready, so they was upset, because that was going to be a big turnout for me. You know what I'm saying? Being in Puerto Rico, headlining and PR was going to be some, was going to be a dream for me. You know what I'm saying? Especially to do it at the Choliseo, that's the biggest, that's like the Madison Square Garden, but in Puerto Rico, so when they shifted me over to the Caribe Royale co-main event, I was like, I was like, give me that shit then. Yeah, I want to play like that. Give me it. I'll take it. I took it for a reason, and I took way less money, but
Yep.
that's
But you
when I
became
knocked
a
them out
free
in
agent
the
after
first
that. It was
round.
over.
I didn't let them enjoy nothing. I gave it to that man in one round. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, y'all want to treat me like that? All right, now I'm knocking this nigga out in the first round, and y'all not getting no show.
And then you became a free agent.
A free agent, and now I'm still not signed with nobody. Right now I'm still a free. I'm basically still a free agent. I just signed the one free deal for July 12th. So, you know, after that's what I'm saying. After this fight, we're gonna see who really gonna drop the bag, and who gonna really make it happen. I wanna fight one more time this year. So
Were
that's
you
what I'm
were you
looking
at
forward
all
to.
were you at all surprised that they gave you Shiraz as the opponent? And I say that nothing against Shiraz, but he had fought a middleweight title fight in his previous fight and announced his intentions to move up after the draw that he had against
He was
Carlos
on my
Adames.
list.
What's that?
I said he was on my list.
Yeah, I was going to say. So that sort of, to me, it kind of came out of nowhere though. Like there wasn't like the boxing fans and media talking about Berlanga Shiraz. Both fighters were known to boxing fans and media, but it was sort of seemed like an unusual matchup. How did that come about in your mind?
They just peeved my dad. Louis just came and was just like, "Yo, we got an offer for you. Flying July 12th." I said, "Where? New York?" They're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "All right,
Right,
listen, because I know Turkey like to do all these big fights in one card." I said, "Let me tell you something. The only way I'm taking this fight is if I'm main event. I'm not being no co-main event for anybody in New York.
right.
I don't give a fuck who it is. You know what I'm saying?" I said, "If I'm not main event in my city, scratch me off that card." And they was like, "Nah, we promising you that we're gonna put you main event." I was like, "All right, say no more. Let's do it." Um, and I really wanted like Munguia or something, or like Caleb or one of those guys, but Caleb just lost, fucked up the bag. Munguia tested positive, fucked up the bag. So it's starting to like, my list is starting to like drop little by little.
Right, right. So when Shiraz fought Adames, uh, it turned out to be a draw, as I mentioned. But a lot of people thought that it was a kind of a poor performance from Hamza, and also that
No,
Adames should have won the fight. I wondered what your impressions were of that.
lost that fight. He got gifted because he's in Saudi, and he had uncle on his poppy Turkey with him. You know that Turkey's trying to push him to be this big big thing. You know what I'm saying? Because that's his baby. So they scored it a draw, but he got his ass whooped, bro. And
So now
don't blame the trainer. You know what I'm saying? You can't blame the trainer. It's just when competition stepped up, he folded. He got beat up in his hometown.
he is moving up in weight to fight you. And so I wonder how you think that will make any difference. And I ask that specifically because even him coming up to a next weight class, he's still a couple inches taller than you. He's 6'3", a little bigger than you. Still got a little bit of a reach advantage on you. Do you think that plays any part in that he'll have at least some physical advantages from that standpoint against you?
He ain't gonna have nothing. Anything he try to do, I'm breaking him down. I'm cutting him. He's the size of he's a tree. Cutting him down. I'm gonna cut him down. You know what I'm saying? He don't got more IQ than me. He don't got more foot movement than me. He don't got more head movement than me. He don't got the same man and power don't add up either. You know what I'm saying? My power is out of this world. And I'm gonna beat him mentally, you know what I'm saying, with the mind. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what he got going on. I'm unpredictable. That's the problem with me. Every
You
fight that
guys
I
have been
fight, people stop on a certain way.
you guys have been going back and forth hard with each other on the press conference, social media, that kind of thing. Uh, is that sort of like, are you like, what annoys you about him?
And I know it's personal. You seen what Turkey put out. If Shiraz gets knocked out, You know, it's gonna be a disaster. You know, for my plans that I have for him. So it's personal. I'm taking it very personal.
Like
Yeah.
Turkey's rooting for him to win the fight.
Of course,
Yeah.
obviously that post was said everything. You know what I'm saying? But I already knew that. You
Right.
get what I'm saying? But
You,
I'm not afraid of smoke. You know, I know who I work with. You know, I work with my
do,
Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and let me talk.
yeah.
And that fight is gonna be something spectacular, man. He just built it up even more to where once I destroy this dude, I'm gonna become one of the biggest stars in the sport of boxing.
Do you at least give him some credit for coming to fight you in your hometown?
He was forced. You think I don't know? He was forced to take the fight with me. You know why he was forced? Because Turkey said, "Hey, you gotta fight this guy, but beat him. I'm gonna give you Canelo. So come on, you know it's gonna be New York, you know." And you get what I'm saying? He didn't want
Yep.
to take that. No, a man that loses his last fight ain't gonna jump into a harder fight. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna want to do a rematch with the guy that they got their ass whooped by, just
Right.
to prove to the people, right? That
Sure.
hey, you know, I'm legit. You know, it was a close fight. You know, I wiped this dude off the floor, and then you get a hard fight after that. But he ain't want that smoke, so now he's jumping to me because Turkey is offering him Canelo, you know. And everything I said is the truth. You get what I'm saying? Like you seen that post what Turkey said.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know, I'm just you know, I'm locked in, man. Whatever.
So I gotta wrap up with one more question. That this is sort of like when I saw all the stuff that was going on, I was like, boy, maybe Edgar Berlanga is going to have 2 fights next week because I seen all the stuff
Oscar,
between you and
yeah,
Shiraz, yeah, and I seen all the back and forth that you've had with
yeah.
Oscar De La Hoya, who's Golden Boy, is one of the promoters of this event. What in the world is the deal with you? He's threatening you to slap, or you're threatening to slap him, or he's going to slap you, and he's making videos about you like you're living in his head. You've been posting stuff on your social about him. At one point, he tried to sign you. You guys talk nothing but good things about one another. What's up with you guys?
Yeah, he wanted it was him. He was throwing the shots. You know, he's always throwing shots. You know, because we didn't want to sign with his whack ass. You know, he robs fighters, man. So you know, fuck Oscar De La Hoya. And like I said, in New York, he better have security. Cause I heard that he's packing up with a lot of security. He better have a lot of security. 'Cause he goes next to me, I'm smacking the shit out of him.
You know, you don't want to mess up your bag.
Maybe.
All right, we will leave it there. Edgar, thank you very much for your time.
Fuck Oscar. Fuck Oscar. Fuck Oscar.
I'll be agnostic. I like both of you guys. So I wish you good luck in the fight, and I'll be watching, man.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Thank you very much.
All right.